Hi everybody, welcome back on It Up with Annie. In this session we're going to talk about structuralism and its main proponent, that is Ferdinand de Saussure. Let's begin. The first question is that what is structuralism? What does it say? The word structuralism has the word structure in it. So you all know what a structure is, right? So structuralism also believes that the entire world, it is organized into structures. बहुत simple है structures. जैसे let's take an example of a building. The building is made up of what? It has various little elements that is required to make a building. For example, we need cement, we need bricks, we need paint, right? We need flooring, tiles, etc. These are the small units that we need to build a structure. So structuralism also says that the entire world is organized into structures. What are structures? Structures are these small units that are arranged in a specific order to build an entire structure. So in literature, let's take an example of a poem. Poem is a structure. So this structure is made up of some units. Now what are the units that a poem is made up of? We have its form, we have its tone, we have the different words that are used in a poem, we have punctuation, we have rhythm, meter, and so on and so forth. तो ये सारे हैं छोटे छोटे यूनिट्स जो एक स्पेसिफिक ऑर्डर में अरेंज हम करते हैं, जिससे एक हमें स्ट्रक्चर मिलता है ऑफ अ पोम. तो पोएट्री इज अ स्मॉलर स्ट्रक्चर. इफ वी टेक अ लार्जर स्ट्रक्चर, लेट्स से लिटरेचर इज अ स्ट्रक्चर मेड अप ऑफ व्हाट? मेड अप ऑफ लिटिल एलिमेंट्स. एंड व्हाट आर दोज एलिमेंट्स इन लिटरेचर? फिल्म्स, पोएट्री, novels, drama, etc. You understand? So that's structures. What are structures? Structures are made up of little elements. So structuralism क्या करता है? Structuralism इन सभी elements के relationship को देखता है. Structuralism looks at the relationship between various elements within a text in order to understand the meaning of the text. ठीक है? तो हमने न्यू क्रिटिसिज्म पढ़ा था. व्हाट डिड द न्यू क्रिटिक्स डू? द न्यू क्रिटिक्स फोकस्ड अपॉन द टेक्स्ट, द वर्ड दैट इज रिटन इन फ्रंट ऑफ देम. सिमिलरली स्ट्रक्चरलिज्म भी स्ट्रक्चर को देखता है. इट विल लुक एट द रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन वेरियस एलिमेंट्स टू अंडरस्टैंड हाउ इट जनरेट्स मीनिंग, हाउ इट प्रोड्यूसेस मीनिंग. So it focuses on the form of a text by looking at elements like voice, character, setting, and the combination of all of that. That's the simple definition of structuralism. Now, let's begin. It emerged in the mid-20th century and it originated in linguistics, but structuralism, remember, is not limited to literature. It has spread to various disciplines. It focuses on the underlying structures and systems that shape and give meaning to a literary text. We are talking about literature. So एक literary text को meaning क्या देता है? Meaning produce करने के लिए various elements are required, and it looks at those various elements, the underlying structures and the systems that shape and give meaning to literary text. Now we begin by talking about Ferdinand de Saussure. Ferdinand de Saussure was a Swiss linguist, born in 1857, died in 1913. Now, see, structuralism emerged in mid-20th century, लेकिन उसके जो बेस है वो है Ferdinand de Saussure. He died in 1913, before mid-20th century. So we look at Ferdinand de Saussure because so many other linguists, so many other people from various other fields took inspiration from Saussure, took his work and put it in their own disciplines. Ferdinand de Saussure's most important work is Course in General Linguistics. यहाँ है. This. It was published posthumously in 1916, but the English translation was not published until 1959. Please make a note of that. Ferdinand de Saussure did not write this work. Yes, it is his most influential work, but it was actually lectures that Ferdinand de Saussure had given. इनके कुछ scholars, इनके कुछ students थे जिन्होंने notes बनाए. And course in general linguistics is actually that combination of the notes by the students. So the students were Charles Bailey and Albert Schkehai on the basis of notes taken from Saussure's lectures in Geneva. Geneva mein he gave the lectures. Roy Harris is one of the translators of Saussure's. Roy Harris. He summarized Saussure's contribution to linguistics. This is the background. Now, when we are talking about Saussure, he makes three significant moves, and by those three significant moves, we can understand how Saussure wanted to analyze the language. So, first of all, he divides language into two component parts, and that is, you must have all heard langue and parole. This one, langue and parole. What is langue and what is parole? Langue refers to abstract system of language. Basically, langue है आपके rules. जैसे एक language है, language के कुछ rules होते हैं, जैसे grammar, उसके rules होते हैं. Parole होता है the actual speech that we use in our daily life. What I'm saying, that's parole. I might not always be grammatically right, but I have the system in the back of my mind. That's langue. So langue is the abstract system of language, the rules, the structures, the conventions, while parole refers to the actual instances of language that is used by the individuals. So this was the first significant move, and how he divided language into two component parts. The second move of Saussure was talking about the relational theory of language. You can write that down. Relational theory of language. मतलब language में कुछ relation होता है. क्या है? Saussure ने बोला that whatever words we use in our language, they are related to each other. How? The relation is that of difference, he said. For example, he says, we understand the meaning of a cat because it is different from the word bat. Cat का मतलब आपको पता है क्यों? क्योंकि आपको पता है कि cat word bat word से different है, और यही इन दोनों words में relationship है, that they are different from each other. So that is the relational theory of language. He says the meaning of each word is dependent upon the meaning of the other word. You know the meaning of bat because you know that it is not what cat means. Okay, that's the second move. And then we have the third move of Saussure, where he says that repeated use of language. He talks about the repeated use of language, and he says words and their meanings are not natural. मतलब cat. When you say cat, आपके दिमाग में cat की फोटो बन जा रही है. Maybe some of you are thinking about a white cat, some of you are thinking about a brown cat, some of you are thinking about a very sukdi hui cat, some of you might be thinking about a huge cat with lots of fur, right? How? Saussure says that ऐसा नहीं है कि हम एक उस एनिमल को जिसका बहुत सारे फर हैं, लेट्स से वाइट कलर की है, उसको हम कैट ही बुला सकते हैं बिकॉज कैट वर्ड में कुछ ऐसे फीचर्स हैं which we have to use to describe that particular animal. No, We use the word cat because of the repeated use. That is it. There is no relationship between the word cat and the meaning, that the concept cat. For example, think about your name. क्या आपके नाम में, whatever your name means, is that what describes you? No, right? You've been given that name and you're called that because of the repeated use. Your parents have been calling you that since your birth. So that's why you're called that. इसका मतलब ये नहीं है that the word has and its meaning is somehow related. Alright? That's the third move. Now let's look at the major concepts of Saussure. Now when he's saying that the word and the concept has no natural relationship, he has given it the terms signifier and signified. Very simple. What is signifier? The physical form or sound of a sign. And what is signified? The concept or the meaning associated with the sign. Let's take an example. When I say cat, the image of the cat is there in your mind. इनमें से signifier क्या है और signified क्या है? The word cat is a signifier. I am giving you a signifier, the word. Immediately when the meaning or the concept is being generated in your head, the picture of the cat, you are imagining a cat, that meaning, that concept is signified. Signifier से क्या signify हुआ? Let's take another example. If you're sitting in your room and you hear a huge sound outside your room, like bam, like that, and then you imagine, oh, I think something has fallen down, or there's been an accident. You can think whatever. It might not be same for us. इनमें से क्या signifier है और क्या signified है? The sound that you heard, bam, that is a signifier, sound. What you imagined, what is the meaning that you generated out of that sound? Whatever, an accident or something fell, somebody fell, whatever you thought, that is signified. That's the concept of signifier and signified. Langue and parole already done. The other thing that Saussure talks about is synchronic and diachronic analysis. Synchronic study and diachronic study. Saussure advocated for a synchronic analysis of language, which focuses on the structures and relationship within a particular language system at a given point of time. This approach contrasts with diachronic analysis, which examines the historical development and changes in language over time. Matlab, synchronic study is the study of language, words in a particular time. आज की डेट में what does a word mean? Any word. आप कहोगे कि word का तो मतलब एक ही होता है. No. You know, there are so many words that have evolved. In the history, they did not mean the same that they mean now. So if you have to study the historical usage of words, कि हिस्ट्री में, पास्ट में एक वर्ड का क्या मतलब था, आप एटिमोलॉजी पे जाते हो, है ना, वो है डायक्रॉनिक स्टडी. Examines the historical development of language over time, the changes that took place. Synchronic focuses on relationship within a particular language system at a given point of time. Let's take an example. So many words like glamorous, host. आप इनके हिस्टोरिकल मीनिंग देखो. ग्लैमरस, आप सबको पता है ग्लैमरस क्या होता है, बट क्या ग्लैमरस का मतलब सेम था पास्ट में भी? नो. सिमिलरली होस्ट का मतलब, पैरासाइट का मतलब. सो चेक दीज वर्ड्स. व्हाट डिड ग्लैमरस मीन in the past and what does glamorous mean now? It's different. Let me know in the comment section. The next concept is arbitrary language, arbitrary nature of language. So there is no inherent connection between a word and the concept that it represents, that we just saw. In the third move, when I said that words are not natural, they are created through repeated usage. मतलब जो एक word है और जो उसका meaning है उनमें relationship arbitrary है, मतलब कोई connection नहीं है उनके बीच में एक word और उसके concept में. There is no inherent connection between a word and the concept that it represents. These are the major concepts that are given by Saussure. Let's quickly revise from the book. A Course in General Linguistics, English translation 1959. Translator Roy Harris, and who worked on it, Charles Bailey and Albert Schkehai. Based on the lectures delivered by Saussure in Geneva. Saussure talks about diachronic study. I'm seeing from the book, first page पे diachronic and synchronic study के बारे में दिया हुआ है. We need to see how words mean within a period and as part of general system of language. This is the synchronic study, where we look at the words within the current state of language and not its history. Then Saussure makes 3 significant moves in his analysis of language. The first one is langue and parole. Langue is the set of rules, parole is the everyday speech. Next, second move, relational theory of language. Words existed in relation to each other. The meaning of each word was dependent upon the meaning of other word. Thus, meaning was the result of being able to recognize the difference between the words. Cat is cat because it is not bat or hat. So meaning emerges in the difference or opposition between words. Final move suggests that words and their meanings are not natural but created through repeated use and convention. The word cat does not naturally refer to a 4-legged furry animal of a particular kind. The pronunciation or writing of the word does not invoke the animal. We have come to associate the name or the word cat to the animal through long use or repeated use. There is no real relationship between the word and its meaning. Therefore, the relationship between them is purely arbitrary. Together, the signifier and signified forms a sign. So, signifier plus signified is equal to sign. Sign क्या है? Signifier और signified मिला के बनता है हमारा sign. So these are the major points on Saussure. I hope you've understood. If there is any confusion, let me know in the comment section. I'll meet you in the next session. Structuralism, we will continue how different disciplines took from Saussure's ideas and developed their own. Then we'll talk about Russian formalism and the different schools that came up in the next session. Please share the video if you liked it, and please make sure that you subscribe to the channel. It will be of great help. Thank you. See you.